Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Competitive Corner Spotlight. Today's episode we're going to feature Ferrothorn, and let's get straight into it. So Ferrothorn is a grass steel type Pokemon with the base stats 74 for HP, 94 for attack, 131 defense, 54 special attack, 116 special defense, and 20 speed. So as you can see, it is quite the tank. It really does quite a lot. It's very bulky. It has an impressive typing, as you can see below. It's only weak to fighting and fire, and it's immune to poison while resisting normal, rock, steel, water, grass, electric, psychic, dragon, and fairy. So for VGC, that's pretty much the entire format, outside of the important ghost, flying, and ground, which you see from Aegislash, Gengar, Landorus, and Talonflame. But otherwise, I mean, sometimes Mega Salamence, but otherwise, you pretty much resist the whole format, which is ridiculously amazing. Ferrothorn is one of the best tanks in the game, especially with that typing, but you gotta be careful for fire types. So let's move on to the first set, and this is gonna be the mixed defenses, and I'm gonna, what is happening here? Hold on, you're seeing me record. There we go. Alright, so can you see my mouse here? Yeah, you can. Alright, so as we go through this episode, I didn't have any calcs to show you, and I'll explain why in Showdown. So I'm going to just show you an episode that of an old Double Trouble episode. As you can see, it's Double Trouble number 3. It's from June 2014. So it's really old, but it just goes to show you how good Ferrothorn is. So I'm going to have this playing in the background as we go. So first and foremost, this spread is sassy, 252 HP, 92 defense, and 166 defense, special defense. I did the calcs on this. It took me actually quite a while to find a set for Ferrothorn that really does well for mixed defenses, and I think this one takes the cake, and we'll get into the calcs for that later. But so the moves for the set in general are Protect, Leech Seed, Power Whip, and Gyro Ball. You can have Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet. So what's important about Leech Seed is that once you get rid of a fire type and most fighting types on your opponent's team, nothing can one-shot Ferrothorn. In fact, there's not very many things that hit it super effectively that can one-shot Ferrothorn unless they have Stab Fire. So if you can get a Leech Seed up and you can just start attacking, Ferrothorn will clean up games for you, and there's been many times where I've all but lost a game and had only Ferrothorn and come back with it. So Leech Seed is definitely almost a staple on Ferrothorn, and the two attacks, it's up to you, and we'll get into some options down below. But one of the coolest things about Ferrothorn is the Iron Barbs, Rocky Helmet. The combination of that does more than half to a Kangaskhan if they attack you. And if they attack you with Double Edge, good luck with that. They're pretty much dead. So it's really nice. And while you don't have as much defensive investment, your defenses are higher in general, especially in the base. As you can see in this screen, I'm gonna do that really quick. It only has base 116 special defense compared to the 131. So Iron Barbs are really gonna help that less investment, because you'll still be taking attacks and you'll still be damaging your opponent. So remember, Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet together with Leech Seed just completely drain opponents. It's great. So a couple of options that you can run on this instead. You can run Knockoff. Knockoff is a pretty good attack, but remember, there's a lot of things that resist it, and it loses its base power once you hit it, so knock off an item, so it's not really great. You can run Seed Bomb and Iron Head over Power Whip and Gyro Ball. It's up to you. Both Power Whip and Gyro Ball only have a maximum of 8 PP, so I usually don't like them, but they're the strongest attacks for the most part, so they're usually the best idea. But I like Seed Bomb on my Ferrothorns personally because it's better for Ferrothorn matchups, because you can't really do anything, and you don't want to be hitting Rocky Helmet, Iron Head shenanigans going on there. And my final option is Worry Seed. I think Worry Seed's a really good option on Ferrothorn. It's a better option on one of the other sets that I'll be showing, I'll go into the explanation for that later when we get to that set. So just some calcs to show you. Mega Gallade's Fire Punch is a 2-hit KO, and Mega Gallade's one of the strongest Pokemon in the game that doesn't have Stab for Fire. Also note that, I didn't write this down, but Mega Garchomp's Fire Fang also is a 2-hit KO. Conkeldur's Hammer Arm, and remember, this is going to be, I think, I went for Sheer Force Life Orb on this. I ran out of room, so I didn't put that in, but it is Sheer Force Iron Fist Life Orb, sorry. And that's an 81.3% chance to one-hit KO, and that's a Hammer Arm, guys. And that's either boosted by both Sheer Force and Life Orb, or just Life Orb, but I forget exactly which one, and I apologize for that. I should have put that in. And then, as you can see, Alakazam, Mega Alakazam 2-hit KOs you with Focus Blast. And that's going to be the strongest non-stab fighting special attack in the game against you. I didn't calc for Mega Lucario, but I think an Aura Sphere does not one-hit KO you either, so that's really, really nice. I actually could probably, well, I can't look that up right. Actually, I can look that up right now. I will, well, I won't do that. I won't do that. I'll do something else. And then regular Alakazam holding a Choice Specs with HP Fire 2-hit KOs you. So basically, I calced for things that didn't have stab outside of the Conkeldurr, mainly because the harder hitting Pokemon in the game, with their close combats and flare blitzes and things like that, are going to one-hit KO you. There's really not much you can do to mitigate that. Ferrothorn is really good, and only having 2 weaknesses is really not bad at all. Honestly, it could be a lot worse. So we're going to move on from this, and the first thing we're going to look at is specially defensive Ferrothorn. I don't really like specially defensive Ferrothorn, mainly because there's really not much in the format that you don't already resist, and with your natural good special defense, it's going to bother you too much. So honestly, I think specially defensive isn't the best way to go, mainly because of what I just said. You know, there's really not much in the format that outside of like Charizard that you really want the special defense investment for, and plus you're not really going to be staying against Charizard. You got to be crazy if you do that. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's pretty much the same moveset, same options. There's really not much else Ferrothorn really can do. It does get Thunder Wave. That is something that you can consider. I usually don't because I run it in Trick Room, but that's up to you guys. I didn't put it as an option because I think Leech Seed is more important, and having some offenses is pretty important as well. So an Aegislash is Shadow Ball. Remember, this is Choice Specs in Blade form, is a 99.6% chance to 2-hit KO. That's kind of nice. That's kind of really nice. And a Mega Lucario has a 2-hit KO with its Aura Sphere. So going back to the other set, I'd say that the Lucario, you could probably survive a Lucario's Aura Sphere. I think at the end of this, I'll go back and check that. So yeah, that's especially defensive. Again, not really my favorite. It's not super useful in the format right now. Because most of the things that are special attacking, you know, Aegislash, Sylveon, what's the other thing? I'm forgetting it. Gengar. They're not going to be doing too much to you if you go for the mixed set, you know, regardless. So I think mix, if you're going to go for anything, if you want to lean towards the specially defensive side, go the mixed. Specially defensive is an option if you really, really lack special defense on your team. But moving on, I think probably one of the better uses of Ferrothorn is going to be physically defensive, mainly because most of the Megas in the format right now are physical, and they rely on their ability. So I should have switched this. I should have put Worry Seed in there as a main option, but Worry Seed, this is where Worry Seed comes in. Since most of the challengers, you know, like something like Salamence, when you see them, Metagross, Kangaskhan, those guys, they really do rely on their ability. You know, you've got the Tough Claws, the Aerial Aid, and the Parental Bond. So what Worried Seed does is it changes it to Insomnia. So now you won't be able to sleep them. That's true, but they lose their main hitting power. And that's really crucial because he becomes a physically defensive mega killing machine. Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet work perfectly with being fully physically defensive. You take hits, they barely do anything, and then you deal double, triple, even quadruple damage back depending on what they hit you with. Like if a Kangaskhan hits you with Double Edge, oh my god guys, they will not be loving that. So just to show you some pretty impressive calcs, Mega Heracross only has a 31.3% chance to one-hit KO you with close combat. That's really nice. That is really nice. And Kangaskhan Mega has a 39% chance to one-hit KO with Fire Punch. And that's mainly because it's 4 times super effective. But overall, physically defensive Ferrothorn is actually a pretty good thing. Now, in general, you're really not going to be taking a fire move. There's very little fire type attacks in this game that you're going to be able to take, especially since most physicals run Flare Blitz. So you're not going to be taking Flare Blitz for anything, even if you're fully physically defensive. But I think like maybe some unstabbed flamethrowers, like, I don't know, maybe an Octillery flamethrower you can survive. Not with this set, with like either the specially defensive or like the mix. But don't count on surviving flamethrowers. It's not going to work, guys. It really won't. So finally, a set that I've never really used before, but it seems to have a lot of potential, Curse. Curse seems to be a very suitable option, and you're going to be a little weary. So first of all, I'm using the mixed Ferrothorn EV spread for a few reasons. One, I don't really think it's very important to invest into offenses for this Ferrothorn, because you're going to be building curses. And you can do that in VGC, because if you can get it out and you can start cursing up pretty easily, you'll be in a good position. But, I mean, honestly, if anything, you can take the 92 from defense and put it in attack, because you will be building curses anyway, so you don't really need to worry too much about having a defense investment. Plus, your defense is base 131, so with 252 HP, you're still going to be taking physical hits like a champ. So your ability is going to be Iron Barbs. Obviously, I don't remember his other ability, but it's really not useful. Iron Barbs is 100% the best way to go. But for your item, you can kind of choose. You know, Rocky Helmet again is going to go really well with the curse, because you're going to be wanting to take those physical hits. But then again, you're cursing up, so no one's going to really be hitting you with physical hits. So Leftovers is good for more recovery with Leech Seed, or Life Orb for more damage. Alright, now I put Iron Head for a specific reason. So Curse pretty much powers up Gyro Ball every turn. Every turn you get more power to it. But here's the problem. It only has 8 attacks. And things like Sylveon and Azumarill, they're not going to really be taking too much damage from Gyro Ball. Anything that's decently slow, even if you start building some curses, isn't going to really be taking very much damage. Iron Head is very consistent. It still does a lot of damage, but, you know, you do lose out on a couple of KOs too, so it's kind of up to you. I prefer Iron Head because it has more PP. Its base power is consistent, so I know how much damage I will do to every single Pokemon regardless of their EV spread. And that's just my idea. I think Leech Seed and Curse are really important. You don't really necessarily need Protect. If you want, you could go a Grass type move with Power Whip or Seed Bomb. It's up to you. I like Protect. Iron Head is not immune. Nothing's immune to Steel, so you'll be hitting things. But the only things that really resist Steel, Steel, will not. They also resist Grass, so it's not like you're gonna be. You lose out on water coverage, but that's not too crazy, because this is a team-based format. So of course you don't have to worry too much about getting both Pokemon. And so a regular standard Gardevoir, you one-hit KO with Gyro Ball with no investment, no curse, no anything, no Life Orb. That's just a straight one-hit KO, so that's really nice to know. That's something to consider. It is a very powerful move. It's a very powerful move if they're like base 80 or higher. It will hit them very hard, and once you start sacking curses, it will hit them even harder. So just consider that. And a regular Tyranitar, just straight up whatever the common showdown is on Nugget Bridge damage calculator, Power Whip 2-hit KOs that. So that's some really cool things. Again, I found it really difficult to calc for Ferrothorn, because first of all, the GTS was down, so I couldn't see the top 15. But I know the top 15, and pretty much all the top 15, Ferrothorn resists them in one shape or form. And when I went mixed Ferrothorn, I took the strongest attacks I can come up with based on the list. I went on Cerebi, I mixed it by attack and special attack, and I took like the top, like the top Pokemon, the strongest, the one with the highest based attack, if he had something that could hit Ferrothorn super effectively, I counted for that. So that's why you see, you know, Gallade and Conkeldurr, because there wasn't anything really out there that could out damage those guys. So that's what I went for. And honestly, Conkeldurr is the first fighting type that you can actually handle. Otherwise, the rest of them are actually pretty powerful. Mega Gallade you can't take. Lucario you can't take, Mega Lucario you can't take, Heracross you can't take. So honestly, that's why I didn't go for showdowns, because it's really difficult. You guys know Steel type is one of the best best defensive typing, but as you can see in this battle that's wrapping up, Ferrothorn pretty much just won us the game with Leech Seed stall and stuff like that. And this is what Ferrothorn's really good at, and this is what I wanted to demonstrate. He's such a janitor. I'm going to pause it right there. He is such a janitor. He just cleans up messes. You get rid of the fighting type, you get rid of the fire type if they brought it. You sit in there, you set up Leech Seeds, and you're good. You're golden. You're set for the rest of the game, because if they can't hit you super effectively, they will not be taking you out quick at all. At all. So really remember that, pay attention to that. Leech Seed is gonna be your friend. It's on every set for a reason. Otherwise, you know, Ferrothorn doesn't really have many other options. Not much else to say. I'll switch back over to the thumbnail. But yeah, Ferrothorn is definitely one of my favorite Pokemon to use, and if I need a spot to be filled, I usually go to Ferrothorn. It's so tanky. It's really good at cleaning up messes, and it's really good typing, especially for the Megas in the current format. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Peace.